I want to talk about this phenomenon that I'm more productive and efficient in my language learning when I have lots to do. I know it sounds very contradictory. As you guys know, I mainly study Chinese at the moment, and I keep my Russian fresh, which is my second mother language, by getting input every now and then. And on my journey, I had different phases. When I started taking languages seriously, I was just working a regular 9-to-5 job. This is when I started learning Chinese. I had lots of free time in the AVO after work and lots of time on the weekends.
Learning pinyin at the moment. 我很开心. That means I am happy. Ich bin glücklich. But here, 为什么 means why. Am längsten habe ich gestruggelt mit diesen 3 Lauten. Zi, qi, xi. 花园里的花开了.
In Chinese is la, la. If you find a girl really hot and sexy, you can call her la mei, which means hot cheek.
There was no Linguaholic at that time and no intention to start uploading videos. Then I started this channel here, which is super time consuming. Simultaneously, I had another job where I was working up to 60 hours a week, 6 days a week. Then again, I was traveling full time and didn't work anymore. Then again, often I was unemployed and had lots of free time. Now I'm working again and back in that 9-to-5 hamster wheel. At one point I even had 2 jobs, and basically I still have, because I'm doing this YouTube channel here, which literally is like a casual job because it takes like 10 to 20 hours a week. So I either had no free time at all or lots of free time. And there was always like a curse and a blessing, because in Australia I always had 2 feelings. Mainly, either being unhappy because my life was nothing but work and I had no private life anymore, or on the other hand side, I was unemployed and I was depressed and unhappy because I had no income. You're broke! Now, whenever I finally had some days off, or when I quit my job, I wrongly thought finally I would have lots of free time to study. But in fact, those days were my most unproductive days ever. Even though I could technically study a few hours per day, I didn't. And the reason is because these days had no structure. Often I didn't plan the days in advance, or I just wasted my time with other stuff. You also may have heard that a certain task stretches out over the period of time that you have for this task. So if something is urgent and the deadline is very near, then you will also do it quickly and early enough. So whenever I was working full-time, I didn't have much time, and in that time, I was more determined to use the little time I had. So I automatically somehow switched into hustle mode and want to use every single minute that I have. And then I find myself studying on the go, on the way. Every free minute I have when I'm sitting on the passenger seat, I'm reviewing some sentences. Even while driving, I listen to Chinese audios, or in the breaks at work I always pull my phone out and review some stuff or read short stories. When I get home, I make sure that the first thing I do is learn a few new characters. So I would suggest to you, if you have a day off and you want to give language learning some time, then set a strict time plan for that study session and build the rest of the day around it, and not vice versa. Secondly, delete your social media. What? At least during the day. This is what I always do. I mainly just have Instagram, and I only install it when I need to upload something, but I try not to look any other stuff from others, because it's just time consuming, time wasting. Therefore, I just install it when I upload something, then I delete it again, and then during the day I have no distractions. Though I also sometimes fall into this trap of scrolling. Thirdly, a must-do tip is turn off all your notifications. My phone never rings or vibrates and beep, 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 because I have all my notifications turned off. And so I don't have it that my phone like turns on and notifications come up and scream at me. My phone wants to be picked up, my phone wants to be opened. I don't have that, because I turn off all the push-up notifications and I decide when I get to see them. Not my phone decides when I pick it up, but whenever I think it's the right time, in the evening or in the morning, I go on WhatsApp, few messages came in, often no messages because I have no friends. And so I never have like this kind of distraction that I do something and during that productive time that I set myself, I have to pick up my phone all the time. Next, only allow yourself entertainment in the evening. I'm currently watching all the old Jackie Chan movies, but only in the last minutes of the day where I'm not able to do anything else anymore, anything productive. During the day, your brain is still fresh and you should use that time to educate yourself, to develop, to be disciplined and that kind of stuff. But in the evening, your brain is already cooked. Do you guys know that expression? We use that a lot in Australia. My brain is cooked. Another good tip is don't do one activity for any longer than 2 hours. Always set some breaks or exercises in between. When I sit at the desk for a few hours, I already notice that my focus continuously goes down. And even though I'm somebody I could stay in my room for the whole day, it's not the best idea to be productive. You sometimes need some variety. And I also notice when I set myself a gym session during the day, then I'm more productive after that gym session rather than I would just study the whole hour. That would just not be a good idea. What you also can do is have different seat positions in your room. For example, you only lay down on your bed if you chill and if you watch movies in the evening or something. So your body gets used to it. Don't sit on your bed to do productive stuff. That just doesn't work. I have a seat here, then I sometimes sit on the floor and I sit there in front of my desk. So I have these few options and sometimes, you know, do some stretching or some exercise, some shadow boxing in between. Now it's my voice. Yeah, I think setting some exercise in between is a very good idea. Maybe this is also why I am more productive during busy days, because I'm constantly on the go. Just worked and then sit down, lunch break, smoko. And then, I don't know, I'm more focused when I'm on the go and when I'm constantly moving. Another reason why I'm always more productive on busy days is because for me, studying languages is like a counterweight. In my last video, I mentioned that I'm having a difficult time right now, but Chinese, studying Chinese, immersing into Chinese is like a comfort, especially if you do physical labor, as I do during the day, then just sitting down and studying something, reading is really like a very good way to balance it out again. To sum it up, we all have things that must be done during the week. I mean like a classic working week from Monday to Friday. And you should also use these days. If you don't just want to study on weekends, which will take you many years to get to fluency, you should rather do a little every day. Just sum up a few things that you really need. For me, literally, it's just work, studying, reading my Bible, gym, and doing these YouTube videos. And that's basically it. All the other stuff like cooking, doing my laundry, I don't even count that during the week because only what has priority. Stuff like laundry or meal prepping, what I would also suggest, don't come home after work and do your laundry or cooking like, oh, I have to cook for tonight. No, that's just too time consuming, washing all that stuff. You know, you cook an hour and then you just eat 5 minutes. I hate that. So I always meal prep on Sunday for the whole week and just eat the same meal, you know. But when I get home from work, I want to do some productive stuff, even though it's hard because after work you're tired. But don't be one of those guys who just comes home after work and just turns on the TV. That's no good.
Please, no! No!
And to me personally, it's also not even important to meet with friends or have dinner with somebody together. It's just for me personally. I don't need that in my life. But everyone is different, so set yourself some priorities and then chase them every day. Alright, I hope that helps. Bye bye, auf Wiedersehen, das Vidania, tschüss, Wale, 再见.